how long of a period of time, about when do you think she started gathering this information?
Sometime in March.
Okay, so she started in March. And how long did it go on?
For her or me? Both. Her, as far as I know, up until she sent out the list.
Up until she sent the list?
Yeah.
Okay. How long for you?
About a 2-month period.
What's 2 months?
It would have been probably mid-March to mid-May.
March to May. So sometime in March up till May?
Mid-May. Yeah. So 2 weeks and, 2 weeks out of 1 month. And so.
What? And when do you believe she sent the list out?
She told me, but I couldn't remember because sometime in June.
Did she talk to you and say, I sent the list out?
No, okay, so now here I am, stupid me, if I saw, and at this point all I thought she was doing was giving it to immigration, which is obviously still wrong,
right.
But I didn't know the full picture.
Right.
So and not everyone, I didn't write down everyone I saw, because if I just didn't feel like it, or if I didn't,
right.
if the phones were busy and I just wanted to get through the calls or whatever, then I didn't bother with it.
You mostly dealt with people either over the phone or just their information on the computer.
Right.
You didn't have people coming in sitting in front of you.
No, you had no face contact with customers.
All right.
So like an idiot, she said that to write down their name and their birth date and their address and their phone number.
Okay.
So I was writing it down, and then I was giving it to her.
Okay. And that went on for about 2 months.
Right.
Okay.
And but it decreased. My participation in it decreased.
Right.
But because I was realizing I was being an idiot, and that I was thinking in my head, these people, they're going to possibly have immigration people show up at their house and stuff, and to be honest, I didn't care about them. I thought about their children.
Okay.
So yeah. So how that would be devastating to their children if one of their parents or both of their parents end up getting deported. But I didn't. Teresa's a very intimidating person, and she's one of those people that when she talks, she sounds like she knows what she's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't dare tell her that I was ending my participation, mainly because I didn't want her to talk me back into helping her.
Did she ever come to you and say, hey, why don't you give me information?
No.
She never...
No, because I would make excuses. Like if she said, if say she was assigned to research or something that day, and like if you have to research, like say Jose Garcia, you have no case number, what are you going to go off of name? Right. So you would actually run into quite a bit. So, she would, and then she would like say, I know that she sent out at least two lists to immigration. She would say, I'm going to be putting together another list. So that's exactly what she did call it then. So she would say, I'm putting together another list that I'm going to be sending out to immigration this weekend. So
these lists, they got mailed off at different times.
Well, at first she was only sending it to immigration that I know of.
Okay.
She was only giving the information to immigration.
Okay.
I believe that was 2 times. I believe. I don't know if any more than that. If she sent it to immigration. And then, she would come in and say, oh, I got a whole bunch of them today or whatever. And then I would just say, oh, I haven't been running into any lately, or, and so she didn't ever say, how come you haven't been giving me names? And then...
Let me ask if you know this. So if she sent 2 lists to immigration, she sent one off. Do you know if she just added the next set of names onto the bottom of that list?
I don't know.
One? You don't know?
I don't know.
Or don't know. Did you ever see the list?
No.
No?
No, because she did this all up from her home up in Hiram. So she was down.
Just assuming that, or do you actually know that? Did she tell you that?
I'm assuming that, more assuming. I'm pretty sure that's where, but I can't say 100% that's where she did it.
She was taking the information from Workforce Services on pieces of paper
Right.
or anything, whatever she wrote it down on,
Right.
or whatever you wrote it down on, and then she was compiling that somewhere else.
Right,
Okay. And you think it may be at her home in Hiram?
right.
Okay.
She does have a condo that's out here though, but I'm pretty sure she's doing it up in her home in Hiram. But
She has a condo in Salt Lake.
here in Murray.
Have you ever been to her condo?
No.
No, okay. She's been to your home?
She had never been in my home. The only time that she had ever been, say, to my home was to either pick me up or drop me off.
Okay.
So, she doesn't like children. And I don't really go anywhere without my kids. So it's not that I wanted to hang out with her anyway,
Right.
because I keep to myself. But we were never going to do that because I don't just leave my children and go hang out. Oh, we did go to, one day after work, Demetria, Teresa, and Teresa treated us to dinner over at, what is it called? Little America Hotel? Is that what it's called? Yeah.
There's a hotel.
Grand America and Little America.
Yeah, Little America. There's a restaurant in there.
Yeah.
She did. So that was the one time that I hung out with her, outside of work. So, but like I said, this wasn't well thought out,
Sure.
So it wasn't, we didn't talk about it she should have, if she was going to be, including me on something like this, she should have informed me a little better, but,
Did she talk a little bit more about when you said she mailed it out 2 times to immigration, you believe, and who else, or how did you come to know that she'd mailed it out?
because she would say that she was going to be I'm going to be putting another list together. So she probably, if she had already sent those names to immigration, I think she wasn't including them on another list that she was sending at that point again. Because she said that she had the program set up to where it wouldn't duplicate anybody's name. So if she had gathered, well, I shouldn't say just she, but if one of us had gathered somebody's name twice, or maybe she had got one that I got the same one or whatever,
Right.
she had the program set up to where it would filter that out, so that there wouldn't be any duplications.
So she talked to you a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Did you talk about the means that she was storing the information, or
On a
where
flash
she was storing it on a flash drive?
Right. She was trying to be careful, but she, obviously didn't think it all the way through. She would tell me that, she made sure that immigration didn't know who she was. She was making sure that she didn't leave any fingerprints on any of the papers. She says that it was only stored on a flash drive, so she didn't save it onto a computer at all. That was when she was sending it to immigration. So at some point, at this point, my car broke down. If I had to take a guess, I would say probably sometime in April, I think. So she was on Mondays and Tuesdays. I was taking my brother's truck to work. So Wednesdays and Thursdays is when she was picking me up and then dropping me off. 410s, yeah. So, and like I said, we didn't discuss this like all the time. It wasn't something every day that we talked about, and we didn't say, oh, how many did you get? Oh, I got this, or and oh, we're gonna get them, or whatever,
She'd just kind of go off and do her thing, and you'd given her whatever you gave her, and she was kind of doing it, and you just kind of went on with life, and just normal chit-chat on like friends, I guess.
Right. So, what were you gonna say about that?
Oh, I was just going to ask you that. How would you supply the information to her?
I just wrote it down on a little little yellow sticky. Not big like that, but like the little,
Like the Post-its?
yeah. I just wrote it down and then I would give them to her.
How many?
What would you, oh, sorry.
Sorry. How many of those do you think you've given her?
I honestly couldn't tell you, but I went through a pad of it.
A pad of it?
I don't know how many is on the pad,
Okay.
but
And that was basic information, name, address,
birth date and phone number.
and if there was a social security number, would you put that? Or did you put, like you said, IA, or would you put,
No, because if they had a social, then you wouldn't quote it. That sounds terrible, but...
I guess the reason that I asked that too is they say there's some social security numbers on there.
Right.
So I'm just wondering, was that something, do you know why that would be?
Honestly, yes. It would be a social that they were using for work.
Okay.
Because then sometimes in the notes and stuff, they would indicate what that social was.
So if they were working somewhere and they were using a social security number, that information would be put down, and you would write that down too, or?
Not me. So I just gave her general information. So,
Did she ever talk about those social security numbers?
no.
So, but if somebody was working and was using a social security number, that information was there.
Yes. She said that she was gathering as much information that she possibly could to give immigration.
Okay. All right.
Was anybody else involved that you're aware of?
Not that I know.
You never provided the information to anyone
No.
else?
No way, I would never tell anybody that.
Did you ever notify your supervisors at any time?
No. She's my friend. I didn't, I was just trying to forget
She
my
likes to
mistake.
talk about politics or anything like that, or she'd say, other than, we know, she said she didn't like these people getting benefits, was she, it was her. Did that continue after she started the list, or did she kind of calm down?
What about hating people on welfare and
Yeah.
hating? Well, no, she always had comments and stuff that she
She
would.
still kept that opinion, but was she as vocal about it toward the end as she was at the beginning?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Was there anything specifically she said about individuals that reside in this country illegally?
What do you mean?
Like, did she ever say anything bad about them? Did she lump them into one group? Did she say any statements to the fact that, oh, these illegal immigrants don't deserve anything, or?
I don't know. She would say, I'm not a racist, and she said that she doesn't have any.
She said that she wasn't a racist. She said she hated people in general. She didn't care what color their skin was. She hated people in general.
She hated everybody equally.
Yes, is what she said. She hated everybody equally. Is the battery dying?
Just hold on for 1 second. Are you doing okay? You need some
Yeah,
bathroom
I'm
or anything?
No, I'm fine.
I'm fine too. Nice.